G'day everyone, welcome back to another Fantasy and SuperCoach review video on the channel. Good to have your company on this Sunday night as we're going to be reviewing my teams from round 11. Hopefully all you lot had a good week. We start off as always with Fantasy, and the buys are coming at a good time, I feel, because we've got some good cash gen on the bench and we need to start upgrading our team. Simple as that. It's been a rough year in Fantasy as we take a look at round 11. 2,101, so okay, I was actually on 2,098, I saw the other hour ago, so maybe somebody scaled up at the end, who knows, but we continue to drop down the rankings. It's just not our year in Fantasy. Trading out Marshall for Sweet turns out to be a disaster move. I mean, Marshall was awful, it was actually very disappointing today, so him as an antipod did help out, but just our top liners like 𝐼𝙗𝐿𝐼 43, 𝐓𝐡𝐞 71, I mean, there was a few low scores this week. There was plenty of positives, though. But, yeah, we're just a bit behind now. We're struggling to get points. The 𝐓𝐡𝐞 going down injured hurt us, too. So, yeah, just not our year in the old Fantasy. But, you know, we'll keep on punching. Buys of, yeah, I think are coming in at a good time. Sorry, there's a plane coming over now. You can probably hear that. So, hopefully we can make some ranks up then. But, yeah, anyways, trades were good, though. Trades content. Well, wanted to keep Gallagher because he was getting CBAs, gets his highest score, so, oh well, we lose out on 18k there, but we're going to get rid of him anyway. And then Matt Roberts also out, yeah, just a no-brainer there. He went down 54k, he was the sub. And we brought in Joel Frazier, so good rookie choice there, made his money, and he scored pretty well, played a bit of half forward, and then, yeah, Oliver only got an 85, so not ideal, but I think you've just got to pick him up at 750k. It's Oliver. He's got a good buy in, etc. So, yeah, should improve with as the games do go on. But anyways, we go through the line. So, 𝐻𝐕 𝐿𝐼 got a 106. Yeah, went down a little bit more now, but he's still 940k, and his last three average is 98. But he got a 119, I think, the week before. So, yeah, he'll continue, I think, just naturally score well because he's just a good player. But yeah, played a little bit of midfield. Didn't really watch much of that North game, but assumed he went well. Statistics-wise, Hayden Young just always 90 plus every week, so we love to see that from a primo defender. Got that goal late as well. What a snap that was. Yeah, crazy. Finished that Collingwood 3m1, stream that one live. Yeah, one of the more obscure, one of the more just nuts draws we have witnessed for sure. What a comeback by the Dockers, but you got to feel for the Pies, especially with all those injuries. I thought they were pretty gallant, but so was this man, Nick Daicos. Yeah, he was outstanding. He can just win it so many ways. I felt on Friday he was able to win it a lot more in and under. Like, he was so clean in the trenches. Like, there was a lot of fumbles and players couldn't pick it up at ground level, but then Daicos would just come through and pick it up, just evade situations and hit the right targets. Had himself a great game. So 133. I was hearing he was going to get tagged, so I didn't VC him. So if Justin Longmuir kept his mouth shut, I would have probably put the VC on him. Riley Bonner got a 65. His lowest score in quite some time, but it was similar to the other game. I think it was against Collingwood. Yeah, it was against the Pies, actually. At the MCG. Just on the wrong side of the field. I think when he plays at Marvel, he gets a lot of scoring because it's a more compact ground, so the Saints switched a lot, but they didn't really do that. They were just, you know, sticking it down the thin side all the time. The skinny side, sorry. But he's still been very good the last 5 games. The least of my priorities, so we'll probably flip him at the bye, maybe. We'll see how he goes in the next 2 games before his bye, or next 3. Nick Martin as a captain. Now this one hurt. He was on this score, 102, for the last 12 minutes of the game. I was hoping for a nice 120 or something, given it was against the Tigers, but just couldn't get his hands on it. I mean, Jordan Ridley had a fantastic game, returning from injury, so now he's on the radar potentially as an option. Maybe looking at him post-bye. And then, yeah, Sam Closey, respectable score, 68, so definitely one of the players on the chopping block this week. And then, yeah, Howes dropped, 𝐸𝐶 dropped, so these are players we should be considering moving on. Jordan Dawson, best on ground today against West Coast, had himself a big game. I should have captained him. I was wanting to go Martin instead. Should have went Dawson, so lost down a couple of points there. But yeah, look, I traded Marshall to Dawson at least, so he's been really good ever since I've gotten him in. And yeah, the antipod, as I said before this week, was successful with Marshall getting 63. So hopefully the death ride can continue, but he'll bounce back. He's a solid player, Marshall. Jack Steele, 122. So this is just 2023 Steele all over. He's going to get a 71 week, a 130 the next week. We think he's back. I'm not buying into it. He's going to be up and down. We've got more priorities than trading out Steele, to be honest. So we'll just keep him, just ride the bumps with him. But this guy's a big issue. Connor Rozee. This is a rough one. Like, he was averaging 110 before he went down against the Saints or something like that, 108 or whatever. He was looking like a top liner, and he's just cooked at the moment. Low tog. He was apparently thrown forward after halftime. Looks like he couldn't get his hands on it. Butters and Horn Francis was doing all the work. So, yeah, really frustrating pick he's turned out to be. We could maybe consider moving him on to... Well, I was going to consider Grind Mines, but he was pretty quiet. Potentially filling in a forward option. But again, we're just going to have to probably back him in. Yeah, he's one that's really hurt my fantasy season because he was awesome starting off this year. And so was this guy, 𝐼𝐶𝐞 𝐬𝐿. He was just chipping away with tons every week, and now he's really dropping off, 71. But his contested game was really good. The issue with 𝐼𝐶𝐞 this year is he's just not getting the accumulation like he's been able to in the past. Like, you see the development of Rowell and Anderson, and like Alex Davies thrown through there, and they just get a lot more players that are accumulating a lot more than 2022 and 2021. So because of that, Miller's just not it anymore. But I just need to get in guns, not flip around with Primo's already out of my team. So I've just got to keep him. Clayton Oliver got 885. Got a few more marks, unlike last week. Was pretty decent in and under, but yeah, his tog again not in the 80s, so he's still not at his absolute best. Let's just hope second half of the season, or at least post-bye, he can put up some big scores for us. But I think I just had to get on him because he was at that price, and it allowed me to now get a top line mid this week. So yeah, we'll just hope he gets some better scores, but had himself in a right game. I mean, some of his ground level work was really good. Like, that's the Clayton Oliver we know. Just how he can get some really good hand passing in traffic. Jeremy Sharp, though, what a rookie this guy has been. And I didn't even start this guy. I traded him in after, I think, round 1, I'm pretty sure. His last 3 average is 103.7. That's insane. That's more than, like, Zach Merritt. That's more than most primo mids. He's putting himself together a really, really good season as a preseason pickup, a delisted free agent, I'm pretty sure it was. Just holds his width so well. He gets a lot of marks. It does help with how Fremantle play because I like to switch it a lot. They like the uncontested build-up, especially at Optus too. So it helps him out. But he's been nuts. So I reckon he could be a potential A8 or at least flip him to a Tom Green, let's say. And then, yeah, this was frustrating news. Sam Flanders going down, crook. But everybody had this, really, so you weren't alone. But the unfortunate thing was, yeah, taking Fraze 64 is not bad, but I left myself out with losing a couple of points with Lohman going great again with another 98. What a rookie he's been. But unfortunately, I didn't get his score on field, or at least loops, because I had Richards instead. Then, yeah, Harley Reid got a 58, but I'm going to be keeping him the next 2 weeks. He's got Saints and North Melbourne, both in Perth. I'd say lock him in for best on ground both of those games. So I'm wanting to hold on to him tightly. And then he's got the bye round 14, so flip him then. Max Gawn. Well, pre-game we all heard he has some calf issues. He's having a fitness test apparently. He comes out and obliterates Rowan Marshall. I couldn't believe it. So many people captained Marshall too, so at least I made up some ground potentially on those people that were higher ranked than me. I need a bit more of that luck though if I want to move up in the ranks. So it's death riding. I'm not trying to be an arsehole or anything. It's the business. It's the business of how fantasy football works. But yeah, just dominant. Grabbing everything out of the ruck. Took a lot of marks. Kicked the goal too. Just wish he was able to do that last week. How could he not dominate Bailey Williams, but he could dominate Rowan Marshall? It's just the mysterious case of these rucks, eh? Tim English, bloody hell. Well, he outscored Marshall this week, which is a positive, but got dominated by Grundy. So they've got a lot of games under the roof for the remainder of the season. That's where English scores his best. So hopefully he can just cover ground and take his marks. And, you know, he's a good fantasy ruckman because he gets a lot of stats and marks and etc. So, yeah, just going to have to stick fat with English. But in the end, should have kept Marshall. Forward line now, Darcy Wilson with an 80. To be honest with the forwards this season, let's just keep him. I think it could be an F6 for potentially the remainder of the year because there's just nobody. I did hear though Travis Boak is a potential DPP chance, so he's one that should be on our radars because he went off, I'm pretty sure, against North Melbourne, and he's had a good past few weeks. But this man has not. Jack Macrae, 58. Just past it now. Look, I still think in and under he does things well. Like, his game last week, for example, he was really good. I think he's one of the few Dogs players that hits targets really well for to centre. He hand passes well, but he just doesn't accumulate the ball. Even like last year, he was getting a lot of it. We saw ceiling scores from him, but this year it's just not to be. But just because of the reputation and the name, we'll just stick fat with him because who else is there for the forward line? I was considering Mines, but he had a down game this week too, so yeah, it's just the mysterious case of these forwards at the moment. But Isaac Heaney keeps on punching well with another ton. So consistent this year. It was a bit more quiet, but how about that goal from the pocket in the fourth term? Nuts. Tom Powell, the 73. Look, ever since his really bad game against the Crows, he's gone at least 70 plus. So again, the forwards, they're bad. We'd probably take a 70 plus from Powell because there's just not really much else. And then, got him Fish of the week last week, and he's been amazing with fantasy-wise. And look, honestly, he's really neaten up by foot. I think, like, impact-wise and performance-wise, he's now turning out to be a good addition to North's backline. And look, the last 2 weeks, McKercher hasn't been there, so it's helped Fisher get a lot of points. But it's the predominant reason is Sheasel moving into the midfield. That's what has allowed Fisher to score well. So he's probably going to be a keeper. And then how about this guy, Joe Richards? So I looped him Friday night, put the E on him 20 minutes before that Freo game, and I'm like, why not? You never know. He scored well on his debut, got a 94, and he only kicked 1 goal. He got 22 touches and also 7 marks. I think because it was a really expansive game, it was pretty free-flowing. He pushed up the ground. That allowed him to get a lot of marks. Got a couple of tackles too. He's turned out to be a gem for the Pies, so I think his job security is pretty good at the moment. He should play, you'd think, all the games until the bye, because he's been, one of the revelations for the Pies, given how many injuries they've had. And then, we're still holding on to Jordan Sweet. Terrible trade this has been. I've heard that Sidor could be back next week, so looks like his time could be up with us, so he's one to flog off. So 2,100, I'd say that's an okay score. I don't know, really. It's still 28,000th overall, so not ideal. We moved down the ranks, but it's upgrade season, baby. Let's get rid of some of these cash cows, shall we? Trades for this week. We're going to be trading at 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐎𝐿𝐼. The rookie options are very bare this week, but to be honest, I think Harrison, when he's fit, he should be best 22. He's a quality player. What did he get? He only got a 44 against Collingwood, but I think with that breakout score, we've got to consider Harrison still under 300k. I might consider a few other things, but I really want to bring in Sarong this week. He's just a must-have, and I need, with the buy structures, I wouldn't mind another round 13 player. So, he's one to consider. Sarong. I might also consider Merritt too, but it's a gun mid this week. Sarong or Merritt, might go Sarong. He's got Melbourne in Alice Springs this week, so but hey, Kyle Oman's been an epic rookie, 558k, so we offload him. Howes is now dropped in the Magoos, and Sweet probably going to lose his spot to Sidor. So that's what the trades are looking like for this week. Let's now move across to SuperCoach, and geez, it keeps on getting better and better week after week. We're having ourselves a pretty good SuperCoach campaign so far in 2024. Another good week it was. We got a 24-10, and we've moved up 156 spots into 318th overall. Like, bloody hell, it's pretty good. I'm more of a fantasy player. This year we smashed it. We've been pretty fortunate though. No Green and no Rosie, no Marshall this week helped us too, as we take a look at our team for the round. So GAWN 180. I want to start off with GAWN. So I had GAWN as the captain, and then before the game, we all saw the calf issues. So I chickened out of GAWN because I thought, he's probably playing on one leg. And who'd have thunk it? Just obliterated Marshall and then got a 180. So I was kicking myself with that, but I wanted to show faith in Dawson because he goes well in those Adelaide Oval games, especially against weaker opposition. And there you go, 158, massive game. So only a 22-point loss. I don't mind that considering how big GAWN went off. But pretty solid week. Also considering that there's Zorko and Flanders, we have to take Darcy's 42, and McRae were poor. I'll definitely take a 2400 plus score. I felt if you got over that, you had yourselves a good week. And also the trades this week were fantastic too. Let's have a look at the trade history. So, yeah, the trades were, we got rid of the Gold Coast rookies of 𝐓𝐿𝐿𝐴 𝐻𝐿𝐿𝐴, and also Howes. And we brought in 2 good rookies in the end of Richards and Fraser, and we also brought in McGovern because we needed a defender, and he went pretty well against the Crows. What did he get? He got himself a 114, so yeah, very nice. Yeah, we've got 1 boost left, so I felt we used our boost pretty wisely last week. Got in 2 much needed rookies because we need some cash gen, given that we had barely any last week. So yeah, happy. And also Sullivan went well, 88 too. So yeah, we've got Fraser, Sullivan, and also Richards making some coin at the moment. And then yeah, also Swede. And yeah, we're still holding on to 𝐼𝐿𝐴 too. But yeah, we'll go through the lines now. So Luke Ryan, I was close on VCing. Good thing I didn't, because if I VC'd him, I would have not have captained Dawson, so would have lost down some points then. But yeah, Ryan was good again. If you don't have him, just get on him. Yeah, just a SuperCoach cheat code. Prints points with just his long kicking. Daicos again was magnificent. I was surprised he didn't get got unders actually compared to his fantasy score, because yeah, had himself a fantastic contested game. I think he had almost 20 contested possessions. He was very good. But Dan Houston hacked the footy quite a bit, checking his scores throughout that game. He was constantly under his fantasy scores, so not a usual day at the office from Houston, given that he's much better kick than what we did see. So I had a lot of clangers, so not ideal there. But if you're a non-owner, you'd be pretty delighted, because I think he's a good option to get onto now, because he's been a very good starting pick for me. Harry 𝐻𝐿𝐴, good again, 119. Again, didn't watch much of the game, so I can't really comment on him much. But again, I did see he was in the midfield majority of the times, I'm assuming. I watched a little bit of the last quarter, so he did push up the ground for some marks, which is good. But he's a talented player, so fair enough if you traded him out, but he still will easily be a top 6 defender, let's be honest. Jeremy McGovern, so we brought him in this week because we needed a defender. My other options were also Max Holmes and Nick Martin, but I felt Martin's still a bit expensive. He had a high break-even and he lost 20k. But I did consider Holmes, but I decided to go McGovern because I like him as a pod. I think he's been awesome this year for the Eagles. He takes the kick-ins, and we'll take that. The ball was living in their back half too. So, yeah, we're happy with a 114. And, yeah, D6 was Bonner with an 87. I don't think he'll be a keeper for me, but he's just continuing to hold down his place really well. And for the first time this year, he actually got a positive SuperCoach ratio. I think he got he got a 65 in fantasy. So, yeah, he was pretty neat by foot. I think he had a few intercept possessions as well. So, yeah, he's been good. And now he's under 100k. When you want to, if I want to upgrade him to Martin. So, yeah, he's made a lot of money for me. And then yeah, 𝐼𝐿𝐴 will come back post buy, and then Horse still a dead rookie. Midfield now, so I VC'd Butters, thought he'd had himself a day out against the Kangaroos, and he had himself a really good game by the looks of it. I think he kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, so he was off to a flyer. I was up and about, but it wasn't to be. But still a good score from a midfielder that you need to perform. 𝐓𝐴𝐿𝐴, really good game he had against us Thursday night. Yeah, I was using it really well. And yeah, it's just a classic Bonk game, really. I think everything he touches turns to gold in terms of SuperCoach points. So yeah, we take that, a nice solid score from him. And then Dawson captain, so wanted to put the faith in him. Wanted to go GAWN, remember, but we all thought he was carrying a little bit of a calf niggle. Or he was, to be honest, but he just went off. But Dawson was epic. He kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, had the ball on a string. Sheed put a bit of attention on him, but no, he was awesome. Yeah, really happy. Finally had a game where he's effective by foot too, because especially the first few games of the season, that was not the case at all. 𝐚𝐿𝐴 Miller got a 95, but considering that Rell and Anderson had very low, I don't think any Gold Coast mid turned up. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I think anti-potting Rell is also important too when I am owning Miller, but he's still been fairly pretty good this season, and he was pretty good on the inside as well. So can't complain too much. Sam Walsh was good, 114, had like 19 or 20 touches at halftime or something. So yeah, was getting a stack of it in the first half, and yeah, a quality accumulator. Let's be honest, always a pretty good SuperCoach option. So 114 we will take. And Jack Steele, just like I said in the fantasy segment, he's going to have up and down weeks. Was a little bit ineffective by foot, so it hurt his score a bit. But yeah, I think he got a couple of points late, which helped him reach the ton. So he raises the bat once again. And then, yeah, Kane Horn with a 92. Dude, I liked his contested game. Just didn't really get enough than what prime Kane Horn does get. So, look, I think at worst, he'll probably be M8 for me for the remainder of the season. We are going to be bringing in a gun mid this week for sure. And then, yeah, 𝐼𝐶 was a loop, and we looped Fraser. We could have taken Sullivan, but we only lost 12 points, so it's not the end of the world. At least Fraser was a good trade-in. And then, yeah, Sullivan got a lot of his points late. He was pretty good in the trenches on Friday night. And then, yeah, as for the rucks, GAWN dominated Marshall, took him to school, battered him in the headouts. Had that mark inside 50 as well, kicked the goal, covered the ground so well. Just wish GAWN was doing that when I captained him, because he doesn't seem to do that well. Grundy had himself a bit of a down game. I think he was in the minuses early on. He gave away 50 with a bit of a punch to the ribs of English, copped the fine for it too. But he had a lot of hit-outs to advantage that didn't go to Swanee's teammates. That's what I noticed a lot of with his work. But he still got I think he was actually our highest contest possession getter for our team, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to check fan footy, but yeah, he was still good in and under and played his part. Jordan Sweet got a 74, but could be out for Sidor this week. So I've still got to get rid of him though if I want to make my upgrades this week. But yeah, he's still been a good rookie that has made his money. For the forward line now, 𝐼𝐶𝐞 𝐎𝐥𝐿, yeah, forward line a bit disappointing this week. 𝐬𝐤 got under a ton, so not ideal, but look, he's just such a consistent player. He had a down game, yet he still got a 94, yet he still had like 23 touches and a goal and 8 clearances, so he's just been such a consistent player for the Swans. Now this guy was one of the negatives of the round, Dane 𝐬𝐸. He was in the negatives at quarter time, what on earth, and I was close on putting the captain on him. Imagine that would have been awful. It's about slim margins in SuperCoach as always. Thank goodness I captained Dawson, but yeah, 𝐬𝐸 really off game. The Hawks just blew him out of the water in the first half. Brisbane mounted a bit of a comeback, but yeah, he just wasn't getting as much cheap balls what he would have liked, and he gave away like 5 free kicks too. So yeah, he was a bit of a muppet today, but still a forward keeper. So yeah, we just got a couple of bad scores on the chin. At least he's fit. At least he's not injured. That's a positive. And then yeah, with Flanders out, we had to take Darcy's 42, unfortunately. But at least with looping Darcy, I was able to field Richards getting 100. So how good was that? Making some money. Good trade in this week. And yeah, Jack McRae again, a pretty poor game, but again a positive ratio compared to fantasy. So I still think in and under when he gets the ball, he uses it well. It's just accumulation. That is his biggest issue at the moment. And yeah, it doesn't really spread for marks too either that much. And Darcy Wilson, I know a lot of people got rid of Wilson this week for upgrades. That's fair enough, but for me, I think he's a keeper at the moment. He's just doing the business. His round 5 average, 5-round average is 92. So he's putting up keeper numbers still at the moment. He got a goal late to salvage the score, which is nice. But yeah, he holds his head high. Given how bad the Saints have been the last month or so, he's been punching really well. So happy with him. And then yeah, Richards 100, smart player. He just uses it well. And he's just in the right positions to get a lot of handball receives, and he got a lot of marks too. So yeah, happy with the ton, and he is now going to start mooing, which we'd love to see. And yeah, Sam Darcy, his time is up, but he's been a fantastic rookie, given he was 123k, one of those basement prices. And then yeah, that's pretty much how the team went for round 11. So we still got a boost left. Want to use that obviously throughout the buys, so that's an advantageous position to be in, still holding on to a boost. But don't think I really need to be using one this week. As for the buys, we only have 4 out, so that's why I didn't bring in Zach Fisher this week. We brought in McGovern instead because we'd have an extra rookie. An extra round 12 player, and I felt 4 was enough. And also Jordan Sweet's probably not going to play, so I couldn't even use him as cover this week. And also I need to trade him out if I want to do my trades and upgrades. So yeah, trades this week. We'll trade out Jordan Sweet. He's made his money. He still has like a 30 break even, but even if he plays this week, I've just got to get rid. And apparently Sidor has a slim chance to come back this week against the Blues. So we can move Livingston back into the R3 spot. And yeah, so the rookies this week, again, are pretty bare. I know there's Will Dawson, who got himself, I think it was like an 80 score or something. Sorry, let me go to break even. I've just went Dawson. I'm probably going to go with Dawson for now as a placeholder, but yeah, Morris, McRae, Swallow, Revel, they're probably a bit too expensive for my liking. I've missed out on McAuliffe, but at least I got Sullivan. Yeah, there's not really much. Josh Sim would have been a beauty, but unfortunately went down with that. Was it the AC joint? I think it was. But yeah, there's basically not much. I mean, Jai Clark is suspended, I saw, so that would have hurt the owners. He had himself a pretty good game in the trenches. 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐴 was very good, but he's already played his 3 games. I think for me it's got to be, it's just got to be Dawson this week, because the man I want to bring in is 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐴 𝐕. So we'll complete that trade, and then yeah, we'll trade out Sam Darcy, who's done his job really well, so we can move Freya forward. We can use Fraser as a loop this week with Richards. But yeah, I want to bring in Sarong this week. I know I'm going to have to pay up for Sarong. Break even's 176, but considering that Sarong is the last player to complete my midfield, and also I don't own Green nor Rosie, which I can probably pick up pretty cheap as potential M7 or M9 options for loops, etc. I'm probably better off just bringing in Sarong because he's the highest averaging midfielder this year. Let's just get him in. And I need another round 13 player, I think, for my buy structure. So don't mind paying up for Sarong. Let's bring in the best SuperCoach midfielder there has been this year. So in comes Sarong, and that is the midfield now complete at the moment. So we still got a boost left, 14 trades left remaining, 42k in the salary. And then yeah, we're planning to bring in Zach Fisher after his bye to complete the forward line, because I think Wilson's probably a keeper at the moment. So yeah, that's what it's looking like pretty much, everybody. Team is everybody's playing the part and moving up their ranks, which you'll have to see. Let's now have a quick look at my fantasy league. So I'm still leading my own league, which, it's nice to see. We'll have a look at the highest point scorer. We'll have a look at second place, 𝐶𝐵. He's been up and about this season as well. He's overranked 527. Fielded sweet though. Doesn't have a primo ruck yet, so he's probably going to target one this week, perhaps. Either English or Marshall. Maybe Marshall's a good chance to get on, given he put up a bad score. Forward line, good thing he fielded Richards. Jackson was disappointing. Harley Reid. Now, for holders, don't worry. He's going to have 2 massive games. He's got the Saints at North and in Perth for the next 2 weeks. So watch this space with him. Tom Green, again, disappointing. So maybe I antipod him. He's 490k for me to consider as an M9 option. Dawson he had, which is good. But as he decided captain. So not the greatest captain score, but at least it wasn't terrible. Cobbin, 87, so that would have been great for the holders. Bailey Dale got a 99 for himself as well. Jeremy McGovern with a 114. Yeah, pretty solid team from 𝐶𝐵. And let's have a look at who scored the highest amount of points. As it loads. Mitch, it was a 24.66 for him. He's overranked as well, 711, so he's in the top 1,000. You'll love to see it. Riley Garcia was a big miss for me. He's been a great rookie for the owners. English and GAWN, 2 good rucks for him this week. Tom Green as well, a bit of a bad score from himself. But yeah, pretty good midfield, I guess. Merritt Bont went well. Merritt's final quarter was massive. Luke Ryan, he took the VC, so that's pretty good. Nick Martin, 97. We'll plan to probably bring him in soon. Tom Stewart had a massive last 5 minutes, so he'll be happy with that. I think he got like 40 points in the last 5 minutes. But Mitch, you'll love to see it. 24.66, so probably pushes himself up into a good spot. We will have a quick look now at my fantasy league. So unfortunately for my friend back at high school, Jack Steele 𝐶𝐵, he's dropped down the rankings a little bit. I saw he captain Marshall this week, so sorry about that one, Parlo. But I'll have a look at Mullins, a virgin. He's 290th overall, so hey, good to see he's representing the Royals Macca Fantasy League really well. Hopefully he can push for a hat, 290. Big week, 23.46, wowzers. Captain Dawson, he would have been up and about with that. GAWN and Cherry, very good rucks, not owning English or Grundy went well too, but if you didn't own Marshall, you would have had a good week, I think. But midfield, pretty decent. Bont was a little bit low on fantasy. He's just not been the fantasy pick this year, I don't think. I'm assuming he traded Crisp this week. He had himself a really good second half. Luke Ryan also went off, just getting a lot of uncontested ball. Sexton, a lot of people brought back in too, so he'll be happy with the 81. Richards, he decided to loop as well. Dylan Moore, like that's the thing with the forwards. I was heavily considering him, but he's just not getting the consistent points as we all thought. And yeah, looking like a good team. Jack Sinclair as well, got a lot of points through the midfield. So yeah, good stuff from Emmett. Hopefully he can push 4 hats. But that's pretty much it from me, everybody. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know how you lot are going down below in the comments. The buys are now starting for fantasy. It's 3 trades for SuperCoach. Hopefully we can get our buy structures right, because this is where it really matters. Holding ranks or pushing up the ranks. So make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did go on to enjoy. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. See you later, fellas.